And welcome back to another edition of Running with James, the podcast. We're having some technical difficulties today. Our co-host, Lauren, is a little unhinged, a little more than usual. Yeah. She's always a little on edge, but today she's feeling her Wheaties today.
I don't know.
You don't know why?
I don't know why.
That's good. That's good. And we've got Coach Carlos in the house as well.
A little bit less unhinged.
A little less unhinged, right? So we got to have that perfect dynamic, right? That's what I think. That's the good thing about having multiple hosts on a show is like you've got these different little like, and then you play off of each other, right? So you got a little like sometimes it's a little playful, funny, right?
I think the Patreon got me hyped.
Did it?
Maybe.
Yeah. She actually talked on this one.
Yeah,
we talked about things that were interesting to her. Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah, she really
my dog's depression.
Yes, and anxiety.
Yes, eyes light up.
Eyes light up. That's right.
She did get a little shut down.
Yeah,
we said the word black.
Those two words. Well, I don't
What'd
think
you
it's the
say?
two words.
Just
if
one
you say
word.
the word black by itself, I think you're fine.
Will you?
Right? So like,
look
black.
at her.
If I say, look at that black wall over there,
Oh,
she's fine.
Oh, she's breathing heavy.
Stop.
Look at her. Look
She's
at
not
her.
gonna have a problem.
Y'all make me sound like I have I am like prejudice.
No one said prejudice.
Are you?
No.
Then why would it bother you?
It doesn't.
It seems to.
It bothers me that you're trying to make an issue out of something that is not an issue.
I don't know if we're trying. We literally saw you shut down.
You literally freaking like almost went into a seizure. Don't you stare at me all you want. I don't know what's wrong. What am I doing?
We all we said was you have a reaction when we say black. We didn't say you were racist. We just said you have a reaction.
I think it's just your own personal demons you're working through, and you're just scared you're going to offend somebody. And you're scared of a lot of things, and that's one of the things is you're constantly afraid that you're going to offend somebody.
I do live in fear that I'm going to offend people.
Right?
Yes.
So you hear that, and you're like, oh my God, somebody's going to get offended. And I mean, I get that because we live in a very sensitive world.
Yes.
Right?
Everyone's trying to cancel everyone all the time.
Everyone is. But here's the thing. This is what I found out. I did this thing. I got a birthday present. And it was basically that DNA 365 thing, whatever.
Yes, we know
right?
the stories.
You don't know all the stories.
No.
You want to let me finish my story on my show?
I'd love you to tell your story.
I don't care what kind of britches you think you got on right now, but these are my britches that I'm wearing.
They're baggy. And guess what color they are?
Hey, what color are they, Lauren?
They're black.
Okay. So I'm basically a little bit of everything. I got some Nigerian in me. I got some Congo in me.
Wow.
I got some Jew in me. I've got some German in me. I've got some Irish, some Scottish.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, right? There was some other stuff in there too that I don't remember, but they were small things. Right?
Yeah.
Like one percentages, right? So, I mean, that's all over the world. I'm multicultural, baby.
That is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm multiracial. Maybe not multicultural. I'm multiracial, baby.
Yeah.
So that means I can make fun of everybody.
Yes,
It's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You are equal opportunist.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
You heard me?
I heard you.
So I just think maybe you should calm down a little bit.
It's all in good jest.
It's all in good fun. And we're not saying anything that's mean or like, we're not saying racist stuff. We're just saying,
We're pointing out
very, it's like observational comedy. Right?
Sure. Okay.
Right?
Sure.
All right. Sweet. So like white people.
About the white people.
See? White people, we play music and you tend to start dancing, but it's off the beat. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's how you are. It's not your fault. It's in the DNA. There are some white folk that can cut a rug. Don't get me wrong. My wife's not one of them. You know what I'm saying? She can get down, but
Is it offbeat?
she's a little shy to start. And at times it can be a little off. But when she really wants to and she gets that head moving,
Oh, she's got it?
she can get it.
The white girl dance?
She got it.
Oh.
She got it. She used to do this one thing when like a really fast song would come on. She'd put her fingers down. She'd be like, and her hair be going crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
fun. She's not that fun anymore. So I guess
I was about to say if I asked her, she wouldn't do it.
she probably would.
Ah.
I don't know. You catch her in the right mood.
She might deny it.
If you catch her in the right mood, she might.
She just kind of like that.
Oh yeah, it's like a thing where she got her fingers and she's just going nuts. It's awesome.
I was like, was it a certain type of music? Like rock
Yeah, I
music?
think like
or
80s, kind of like Footloose.
Ah, okay,
right? Or
yeah.
like what's that?
Flashdance?
Yeah. like-
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, that's how it is. Our Latin sisters, On Fridays, I do a workout, usually Friday mornings, and there's a couple of ladies that come and work out, and they're of Latin descent, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And because I care about them, I play Latin music.
You do.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not once. Well, that's not true. One of them loves it, and she's like,
She
you'll
always
see her,
dances.
You'll
The
see her do
other
whatever.
one-
And the other one every now and then will be like, "Why are you playing Latin music when I come?"
was literally just going to say, because I one time was the DJ and I put on a music because I was basically mimicking what you do. And you said, why do you assume that they want Latin music? And I said, I'm literally mimicking what you do. And then she said to you, yeah, why do you always assume we want to hear Latin music?
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, I just like to give the people what
That
they
sounds
want."
like my wife.
We weren't going to say names.
I'll say names.
It's very possible.
Let's say names.
It's
That's
very possible.
She
It
knows.
might be that her partner was in the background while she was arguing,
Yes.
like
Oh,
dancing
yes.
in the
That's
background.
exactly right.
sounds like
So
those two.
I used to have a lady from Kenya, and she actually asked me to play Kenyan rap music for her. You know how hard it is to find Kenyan rap music on Pandora? Not
Yes.
that hard, actually.
Oh, no? Not that hard?
It wasn't that hard.
whole-
I just put in Kenyan rap music, and there were like 8 stations.
Oh, wow.
And she had some of the best workouts, right? So every time she came, I put on Kenyan rap music for her.
One of the ladies Wednesday showed me and Gabby a video, and she was like wanting us to learn a dance. And it was our dancing queen.
Mm-hmm.
And she showed me the video, and I'm thinking it's going to be like a TikTok-esque. I'm like, what are you doing looking on TikTok? And it was from YouTube, and it is a girl whose hips move in such a fast circular motion. And it was like, the music was like a lot of, I don't even know what the music was, but it was like high intensity. There's like a lot of drums, and she had her hips going. And I was like, I don't know if you've seen my shape, but nothing about my body moves in that kind of gyrating fashion that fast that looks that good.
Yeah, but you know what? There's like a whole series of like videos from ladies in Russia that have they're very much like you, because you probably have some kind of Russian descent,
I do. I have
right?
Russian descent.
So and they've learned to train their hips and their derriere to make those movements, but it takes a lot of work. You
It
got to be
does.
committed to it. You can't
It
go
does.
out to it, flip it.
No,
You know
you
what
got to
I'm saying?
work at it.
Look at Bachata Mike. His
Look at
hips.
Bachata
we
Mike.
we're trying to lock his hips back up.
Yeah,
Run
we're trying to
run
lock
drills.
them
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what
back
to do.
The
down
run drills, yes, they're just now
because they're
just-
too free flowing.
Yeah, they're free.
He's always
flow-
trying to like.
Yeah,
put a
hey,
little
Mike,
something.
these are run drills. March your drill, buddy.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I love about not just running with James, but like the HYROX Run Club, BC Fitness, is that we are multicultural. We're a group of people coming together under the common cause of fitness, HYROX, and community. You know? And so it don't matter where you're from. Don't even matter where you're going, because we're going to help you go the right direction, because you're probably going the wrong way if you're not with us. Just so you know. You know what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm talking about. Preach it. So what I'm saying is that I believe the psalmist Michael Jackson once said, "It don't matter to me, baby. It don't matter if you're black or white." Are you familiar with this song?
I am. I'm trying to think about what part of the song you might be trying
It
to.
don't matter to me.
The black or white portion?
It don't matter if
If
you're
you're
black or white.
That's a good song.
And I think there's a part where he's like red, green, yellow. Doesn't he say something like he goes through all the colors of the rainbow? I feel like
don't remember.
I might be
I
making.
think I
that up.
remember the video where all people's faces changed.
Yes, and it's like
Yeah, the one. Yes, an African guy, a white guy.
Yeah, and they all like changed to the
Yeah.
same. Yeah. What happened to that?
That's a good song.
You remember back in the day, that's what it was. Like all the songs would be like, where all my white people at?
Yeah.
Where all my black people at? Do the ladies run this mother? You remember that? It
Now
was
it's like
now
we're all
nobody
the
wants to be left out, and nobody wants to feel like they can't participate.
where are all the people that identify as cats? It'd be too long of a list. It really.
No, you wouldn't hear it. Yeah, you hear meow.
Yeah,
That's
that's all right. That's all right. Thank you, Lord.
That's exactly it.
Thank you for correcting me. I
Yes.
was
Yeah.
insensitive with that
Exactly.
call out.
That's exactly right.
Chaz is
I'm
flabbergasted.
wondering if any of this is going into this is probably going to have to get cut.
There's been a lot of
This is
chatter.
too good.
Anyway, well, I don't know if you guys. Well, you have to have known. I mean, so we had the early access
Yes.
to the HYROX Dallas.
Oh my
It opened up
gosh.
this week.
And we told everyone
And
of
we
BC
let them
clients.
know, right?
Gave 'em
I
so
sent
many
out
warnings.
emails. I sent out links far in advance. I even sent the link out a week before, right? And people were like, "Where's the link?" I was like, "In the first email I sent and the second one I sent. It's okay. I'm not upset."
And then I sent a reminder on Sunday to people.
She did. Today, or I guess as you guys listening to it yesterday, it released to the general public. Right. So it sold out. The pre-release sold out. Right. Everything I think sold out for the pre-release.
Yeah, there was nothing.
There was nothing left.
Yeah, and that
so
was-
obviously they had certain stuff still available.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't the pre-release sell out on like the first day?
Yes.
Because it was supposed to be a 48-hour window.
I think the only thing that was available was ladies singles.
Okay.
The second day.
Okay. Yeah. And that was supposed to be a 48-hour window, and within the first 24.
It was done.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, it opened up for the general public.
Mm-hmm.
And around, I think, 12 o'clock, I started getting phone calls.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. We spoke a couple weeks ago about coming to class. And I was like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, talking to you. Can you hook me up? I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, I really want to do this race. Oh, it sold out on you, huh? Well, they might release more. Went through the whole thing and everything. It's like, well, I really want to go. And I was like, hey, man, I feel you. But hey, if you were part of the BC Fit fam, you would have had early access. And, we probably help you out a little bit more.
That's what I don't understand when you said people were reaching out looking to get a hookup. I'm like, well, you've missed the hookup. The hookup would have been Monday.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you're literally asking at a point where it doesn't matter anyway.
But they wouldn't have known that unless they were a part. because
Exactly.
They wouldn't have gotten those messages.
So I
they
guess you should have reached out sooner.
So, but yeah, I mean, I've gotten like at least 5 phone calls today from
I have
people
too.
like kind of on the outside trying to come in, but they weren't on the end. So, guys, if you want to be on the inside, come on now. Come on. There ain't nothing but opportunity, space, and room. And
We are family.
We are. And I think that's another song about being family.
We are family.
Yeah.
There we go.
What does it say after that?
I got all my sisters and me.
There you go.
There we go.
Is that
We're
it?
not worried about the brothers, just the sisters.
I
right,
can't remember.
that's-
Well, I can't remember.
It says that.
Is
It
that
doesn't
it?
say anything about brothers.
Oh, because there is another part with
Is
brothers.
it
I think.
sisters or sisters?
Sisters. I think.
How many sisters do you have?
I don't have any sisters. I am the sister.
No.
I got 2 brothers
Well, so you emphasize that.
I
beat.
feel very
from the same mother.
point right now. I
Wait,
feel very uncomfortable.
why? Wait, what'd I say?
It's not what you say, Lauren. It's how you say it.
What?
What I tell my wife all the time. She says
Yeah.
stuff to me all the time, and I'm like, baby, it's not what you say. It's
How you say it.
Now I'm.
But do you ever say things the same way and you get yelled at?
What do you mean? Like the way she says them?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It doesn't have to be the way she says it.
Okay.
Like it can be much more like low key.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you talking to me like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Or why are you yelling at me?
Yes.
Like, you yell all the time. What are you talking about? All you do is yell. But yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is true.
I'm just happy to hear it. It's not just my household.
No, I believe all men everywhere are giving a collective hand raise.
Yeah,
right now.
so
Like,
one
I hear you.
one decibel above
Normal.
it's yelling.
Yeah.
And then
But it's in a bunch, like when they say it, it's in a very aggressive,
oh yeah.
like, why are you yelling at me?
level, they've gone to DEFCON 5
Yes.
in 2
always.
seconds.
It always goes to DEFCON 5 really quickly. So, but yeah, so the HYROX is like basically sold out. I'm assuming like they've done with the other over the years, they're going to probably release
Yeah.
a small release contingent of some stuff.
They have a wait list.
Yes, there's a wait list.
There's a wait
and I
list.
think if the wait list gets big enough, that's what prompts them to do more stuff.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to say, because there's a lot of people, I know that I spoke to a lot of people who were just like, well, I don't even know if I really want to be able to commit to it, who were buying their tickets because they were just afraid if they waited, they would miss out. I would be willing to bet because of people just like rushing to buy. If you were to check the ROX app,
You can't, the ROX app's not going to
oh,
help
that's
anymore.
right, you can't do that
So
anymore.
even if you bought
I
the
forgot. Never mind.
Flex option, you can only switch the name once, and it's
Yeah.
only for doubles and the relays. You
I
can't do it for any singles.
I forgot about that. I forgot about all those
They
changes.
They took care of that secondary market.
They did.
Yeah. They're like, we're done with this.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like, we ain't letting nobody else make money off of our stuff.
Nope.
I was surprised to see that I shouldn't have been surprised when one of our coaches said that the women's pro sold out. I'm like, the women's pro like never sells out, but it's because of the change to
Exactly
qualify.
right. That's it.
I signed up for pro. That wasn't the reason I signed up for pro. I just want redemption.
Yeah.
From last year.
So yeah, the pro will be what most people probably compete in, just to at least get a shot, right? So I think it's crazy. So I mean, technically now we know it's here, and I saw they're releasing, which doesn't make a ton of sense, I guess, but maybe I don't know. It's still far enough away, but they said there's a new fall race that's going to be dropping here pretty soon.
Boston?
I'm thinking it's going to be Boston.
Boston would be fun.
I think it's going to be Boston.
Are they doing Arizona too this year?
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's
okay.
going to be like a major.
Isn't that
Okay.
going to be in the spring though?
I don't know when that's going to be. I don't think it's going to be in the fall, but
No.
but I would assume probably.
Yeah.
Because they haven't released it yet, so I'm assuming it'll be 26. But I'm assuming, here's why I think it's Boston. I saw a post, one of the ROX, pages put out or whatever, and it said they had looked up one of the convention centers in Boston, and on one of the dates in September, it had HYROX listed.
Yeah, I think I read the same
You see the
thing.
same thing?
Yeah.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
thinking Boston must be it.
Yeah.
Because, but the only thing I'm thinking is like Dallas is in November.
Yeah.
So why would they not release the September one before they release the November one? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
But it is HYROX.
Yep.
They sometimes do weird things.
Phoenix would be a lot of fun. Boston would be a really fun one to go to.
It'd be neat.
I like Boston.
Yeah, but it would probably be packed. It'd probably like New York, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas is going to be packed.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? Where it's going to be a lot of on the left.
Yep. Here's what's going to happen. I think maybe next year. Maybe it'll have to wait till next year. But they're going to do a stadium one here in the States.
I keep thinking that I keep wondering if they're gonna bring in another Texas, because Texas is such a massive market. If they're gonna bring in another Texas location,
I would think it would make sense because Texas is like not just the amount of people and the proximity, right? But like if you think about it, the state of Texas has so many people.
yeah, it's huge.
Right. And between Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston, which are within, for the most part, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours from each other.
Yeah.
Right. There's probably 20 million people combined with all those, right? Something like that in those areas.
Yeah, the
in
whole
those general
metroplex
areas.
and
Yeah,
just-
with all the counties around there, at least 20 million people,
Oh,
if
yeah.
not more.
Yeah.
But then that's also still like what Dallas is like 4 hours away from like New Orleans or so, right?
Yeah.
Houston is 4 hours away from New Orleans. Then you've got Oklahoma, you've got New Mexico. So you've got all these other states that are pretty close to those that you can bring people in.
Mm-hmm.
And those states aren't getting one.
No.
Yeah.
Not anytime
No.
soon
I mean,
anyway.
Colorado. It's
Colorado.
not too far.
Colorado, I'm surprised there's been some interest in Colorado. I'm kind of surprised that one hasn't been a location yet.
true.
I think now this is just me speculating. I feel like maybe Colorado was tossed out there, but Phoenix was the chosen location for the area.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. I mean, Phoenix is a bigger city than like Denver is, right? And the elevation is different. It's not as high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And because that elevation will make a difference,
Oh, yeah.
like in the competition, right? Being able to
Mile
breathe.
High City.
Yeah. So I think that would play into it. So that might be part of the solution or the issue. So, but I mean, the sport is definitely growing. So I mean, I think now the season is started. It's real now, right? So I mean, yes, we're still kind of technically in the off season, but if you haven't started training yet, you need to start.
Yeah.
Because you're literally a couple training blocks away. So if you started racing in September, that's 2 training blocks.
Yeah, that's not much.
That's not much at all, right? And we know for a fact the earliest one is going to be in October, which is Toronto. And then once it hits, they're coming. It's like there's at least 1, if not 2, every single month. Dude, I was looking at the calendar. Like if you just look at North America, just so what they've released until the end of the year, which I wish they would figure out a better schedule. But like you've got like Toronto, Dallas, Anaheim, Monterey, Acapulco, I think Brazil, or maybe it was Argentina, one of the two. And there was another one I want to say. There were like at least 6 or 7 between the months of October and December.
Oh, wow. That's not much.
That's like some of them were literally like November 7th, November 14th, November 20th, right? They were literally every weekend there was one for like a 3-month time span.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I would like to do Monterey. I think that would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Not Acapulco because I don't want to get murdered, but like
No.
Monterey would be a good one, I think.
We should go.
We should go.
There's a little bit of elevation.
Yeah, but I think it's not too much. But I think the Monterey one's like in October. But they'll do another one because they always do one.
Yeah.
I feel like they did one like in April the last couple of years, right?
They did Mexico City, I thought.
Was it? I mean, I'd do Mexico City too.
Am I wrong? Because I thought they did Monterey and Mexico City.
They
but
probably
maybe
did.
I might.
And
They
they
definitely
remember
did
it wrong.
Mexico City.
I know they did Mexico.
Then they did Monterey too. Then
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
positive
saying,
they
I
did
know because
Monterey.
I know somebody who raced in Mexico City.
It's
But
not a very long flight to Monterey.
No.
that'd be fun.
2 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's nothing at all.
Yep, we should do it.
And that would count as international.
Yeah.
Get that passport stamped.
Get it?
You know. So
That's actually technically going abroad.
it is.
Not Atlanta.
It is.
We had someone went with us. They were going abroad.
Yeah. No.
No, Atlanta is not technically abroad.
No, not at all. So, but the race season started. So, I think the thing is now is like it's time to get serious about your training, right? It's kind of one of those things where like, what is your plan? What are you building on? Are you looking at the mistakes and stuff you made last year? Are you building on those lessons from last year? Dialing in all your pacing, your fueling, whatever your strength work is. Because we've talked over the last couple of weeks kind of about the having the those kind of the way I do it anyway, having like those monthly peak week, like looking forward to that like it's a race, practicing that, right? What are you doing basically to sharpen like your skills, to make sure that if you're chasing a PR that there's no doubt that you're going to get that PR, so how are you going to lock in? That's what the kids are saying, lock in.
We try to be hip here.
Yep, and make this your best season yet. How are you going to do that?
Me? Get a plan.
Get a plan.
Have a, break it down. Have the goals. What is, I think I talked to you yesterday or Tuesday about, hey, let's next week meet up for the run.
Yep.
I'm ready to start getting my speed work back in. I've been building up my volume, doing some strength work. It's time to start sharpening things up.
Okay. Well, let's recap. Let's do a quick recap. What lessons or what do you feel like last season taught you, Lauren? What are some things from last season that you feel like really kind of helped you? And this may not be just for HYROX. Maybe it's for a 10K. Maybe it's for a half marathon.
Yeah.
You're running, whatever your fitness.
Prioritize active recovery and like my sleep, my eating, like anything that's that's maybe behind the scenes of the gym work, the sexy workouts, the behind the scenes work. So foam rolling, making sure I'm dedicating time to good stretching and getting good sleep, making sure I am fueling correctly, because I had this was a year where I kind of went into multiple races either with an injury or like so fatigued that it like completely like trashed my performance.
Okay.
And that was a real bummer.
Okay. Carlos?
Volume is key.
Volume is key.
So just building up that volume.
Okay.
I think kind of getting into the season, really wanted to work to, go into the races averaging 30-plus miles. I think for a while I was stuck like 25 to 30, so I definitely, moved up to that 30-mile range, 30-plus, and, that's where I'm starting now, ready in the 30s, just building right now.
Okay.
So that was a big lesson, learning that. And then kind of, I think one thing that slacked a little bit towards the end of the season was my strength work.
Okay.
I kind of felt that near the end of the races. I did not feel as strong. I think I was just maybe trying to build too much volume without neglected my strength work, but it's kind of that trying to find that right formula.
Okay. I like it. So what do you feel like if you take the stuff that you learned from last season, right, the things that you want to improve on, how does that change your expectations for this next season, right? With all the trends, right? So we know HYROX is going to have way more competitors this year, right?
Yeah.
So last year, what was the number? Like 500,000 people or something crazy? Was it like that?
Was last year 500,000? Is that what's projected for this year, I think?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
thought they said like 700 this year or something.
Yeah, I thought they were like...
Was it closer to 700?
Like over 750 or a
Yeah.
million or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it was 150, then it was 250 last year, or the season before.
Yeah.
Right? And then this season, I thought they said it was 500,000 people that
I
competed.
think
You could be right.
It was either 400,000 to 500,000, I believe.
And then I thought, because of what they said, because before that, it was like 2% made it to
Yes.
the World Championships. Now it's only like 1% are making it, right? So, like, how does, with all the new competition, with all of the, there's rule changes now, right? Where instead of going back, you've got like time penalties, right? So you're gonna have to be a little more, you've got different, things to deal with the counters and stuff like that. How does that affect like your training? How does that affect, how does that set your expectation for the year?
You're gonna have to be really, I always say the word deliberate all the time, but really keeping track of how you're doing the exercises, not just doing, increasing volume on wall balls. Not great. Now you've done 125 crappy wall balls. That's not going to get you anywhere. So being deliberate, holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
When you're doing your wall balls, if you're doing with a partner, like I always kind of tell, call out a no rep.
Yeah.
If you're not going down to depth, call it out. And I always say, if you have no one there, film yourself.
Yeah.
Is your hip crease going past your knees? How many of you are actually doing that?
Yeah.
You know, you might get lucky at a race and they don't call it. You know, maybe it's kind of right there, or you might not.
Yeah.
And so just don't leave any interpretation for the judges.
Right.
So every workout, go to, you know, standard.
Yeah.
You know, depth, hitting the target. If
Yep.
it doesn't hit the target, no rep yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to keep, you know, doing, you know, crappy sets of wall balls if you're not doing the proper form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think, and I mean, I would hopefully think this is kind of the way people operate, but I know it's not, right? Just because that's just not human nature. But like the little things,
Yeah.
the details, right? So holding yourself to a level of standard where you're not just trying to do a bunch of stuff, you're trying to do good stuff.
Yeah.
You're trying to have good range of motion, good strength. You're putting back to back. You know, I was working with someone the other day, and you know they're doing wall balls. Since you mentioned wall balls, they're doing wall balls, and like they're dropping them every 4 or 5 or every 3 or 2, right? And I'm like, go until you can't go anymore. But they're you can see them dropping it. Like they're dropping it.
They're not like going to failure.
Like it's not a failure thing. It's just like, I don't know if it's a mind thing or they're just used to dropping it that many. I'm like, go until you can't go anymore, right? We're trying to develop and see how far you can go. Maybe that's not what we'll do in the race, but let's do that, you know? And so it's like pushing yourself past your comfort zone in your training, at the same time being deliberate enough to make sure that it's quality repetitions that you're doing and not just doing it to just be doing it. You know, so I think that's to me, I think one thing that a lot of us, including myself, have to focus on is that being detail oriented and holding yourself to a new standard. If you don't, so I have a young lady that I coach, and you know, we were actually having our meeting earlier today, and we're talking about a half marathon, and she's going to be running the marathon soon, and she's got a half marathon in October, and so I was like, all right, so what's our goal? What are we going to shoot for? She's like, well, the marathon, I just want to be able to run it and finish it without stopping.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I get that. It's your first one. She's like, I'm going to PR it no matter what. I was like, that's true. I was like, but we need to get a concept, right? So she's like, well, last year you helped me and we got a 159 something. It was like 159.25 or something, right? And I was like, and the goal was to be sub 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's the first time she's ever been able, I think the fastest she ever did was like 210 or something like that, right? So, but she had to work to get it. Like she had to push herself, but it was a new thing for her because she never tried to push herself.
Okay.
Right. So out of her comfort zone like that. And she's like, I don't want to feel like that in October. I was like, okay. I was like, well, what's the number? She's like, well, if I could do sub 2 and feel good. I was like, okay, well, all right, that's a good goal. We can start with that, right? Where maybe you're capable of 155, but we run a 158. Or a 159 and you feel comfortable the whole time. Okay. But that still would give us a concept of where we want to go. And so like as we through this whole coaching process, every time I try to get her to do something, she doubts herself and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. Or I'm like, you can do it. You can do it. So I'm constantly like, I believe in her way more than she believes in herself.
She doesn't even see it yet.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
Like,
But she's fully
what she's capable of.
Yeah, she's fully capable. And so the workout we were talking about, like I didn't even say the pace that I wanted to run. I was just like, this is what I'm gonna have you do. We're gonna start some speed work. We're over the 20 miles again, so it's time to ramp up. And you could hear it in her voice. She's like, oh, okay. And then I told her the pace. She's like, what? And I was like, it's very short. It's not gonna be a hard workout. It's gonna seem fast, but we just want to get some turnover. She's like, what is the pace again? And I told her the pace. She's like, I've never ran that fast in my life. I was like, hey, this is the first time for everything. It'll be all right. And she kept talking or whatever for a little bit. And then she's like, so you want me to do sprints? I'm like, well, it's not really a sprint. You're not going to be sprinting, I promise. She's like, it's a sprint. I was like, well, you go sprint and let me know how it goes. Okay. So I think it's that attention to the detail. It's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone when it's required, when it's time. And then being deliberate about how you do that, I think is going to be a big thing.
No, absolutely. I think kind of going on Lauren's point of we talking about details is doing all the little stuff, the recovery to all that work, to increase the volume. It requires the foam rolling, the stretching. It's just not the work, like you said, the gym stuff. It's all of that. So it's being a diet. It is all these details, especially if you want to compete at a higher level with all these people. It is going to have to be attention to 360 everything, not just one portion of the training, recovery, nutrition. It's all got to be, working together.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think when you get into these races, and I think we've seen, I mean, we saw at championships what happened with sleds and all that. I think it's getting to where when you're in training, kind of going off what you said about working on strength, you've got to be as prepared for any situation as possible. So like you said, going in, like for your past story, going Toronto, the wall balls was like something you normally do not struggle with, but you apparently had some sort of struggle bus moment in Toronto.
Yeah.
And since then, you focused on that's never happening again.
Sure.
So if you have an issue where you get a sled and now everyone's the big chat is like, what's going to happen with this new carpet and these sleds because what happened at championships? Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to like just throw in the towel? Or are you just going to like sit here and worry about it? Or are you just going to train your absolute best on sleds? So even if it feels hard and it's catching, you can still push it. Maybe it's not the fastest you can push it, but you're still going to be able to push it. I think you have to be kind of be able to be prepared for anything that could go wrong.
Yeah, like to be able to push it and then still be able to run a race. Kind
Yeah.
of still, you have the strength enough to get through that. Yes, like you said, it's not going to be as fast. You're going to be a little more tired, but
Yeah.
you're able to recover from that. So
Yes.
being even stronger than you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in any race or anything you're doing, there's going to be like things you can't control that are out of, things that are out of your control. And I think if you focus on 3 specific things in your training, movement, mindset, and mechanics, then you are going to set yourself up for success, right? So on your movement, like what type of range of motion do you have, right? Can you get deep into a squat? And if you can't at this point in time, well, you already know that you're a no repper. Well, you need to fix that. And that's something you need to focus on. So before you go and you pick up a 20-pound wall ball, you need to learn how to do an air squat without weight and have depth and be able to get up. And if you can't, how do you figure out how to do that, right? And there's plenty of ways to do that. That's usually just a mobility thing, right? Mindset. If you get into a race and something like a rabid sled happens and it's fighting you the whole way, right? Yeah. Are you going to let that blow your race up? Are you going to let that end? Are you going to like throw a hissy fit in the middle of the court or middle of the field, run over to 3 other sleds and push those and show how those are moving faster and throw a hissy fit?
I'll say you waste so much time.
You're wasting energy and time when, okay, what's the right thing for me to do, right? What is your mindset? Whenever you get slapped in the face, how are you going to take the slap, turn it around, and keep moving forward?
Yeah.
And the only way you work on that is in training. You push yourself in training. You get yourself in uncomfortable positions. You train with other people to challenge you, to help take you out. Because it's really easy. It is really easy to, I don't want to say give up, but to kind of like mail it in when you're by yourself, training all the time.
If you don't have your mind trained right, 100%.
Right.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's a great idea to train with other people that are better than you to push you so that when you do go by yourself, you already have the confidence that says, well, I did it with these other people, so I can do it by myself. And then on the mechanics side of it, simply is this. People say all the time that running and, or HYROX, whatever, that these are not skilled, like this is not a skilled sport, right? They're just movements. And it is very skill specific. I don't care what anybody says. Every event you do has some sort of skill into it. And so if you go to the skier and you don't work on your mechanics and your efficiency, you're going to be either way slower than everybody else, or you're going to be exhausted when you get off trying to be as fast as everyone else. If you don't have good form, I still see people with the straight arms pushing the sled, right? I still see people that don't get their weight over the sled. They're taking their shoes off when they push the sled. That doesn't even make any flipping sense. How is that going to help you?
No.
I think it's because they don't know how to tie their shoes and their shoes just keep falling off, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't learn like good mechanics, if you don't learn how to have good efficient movement, you're going to work way harder than you have to, and you're probably going to blow up.
Yeah.
So you have to work on the technique of each movement, and every single movement has a much more efficient way to do it. I don't care what the movement is. Burpees, lunges, wall balls, running. There is a more efficient way to do each and every one of those. And the only way that you're going to learn that is by repetition, building whatever mobility that you need to be able to accomplish it, and then learning probably from people that are better than you are at it, right? Watching game tape, whatever.
Yeah. I feel, what you just talked about, being efficient. One of my best HYROX races, I felt there wasn't, when I got done with the race, I felt like there wasn't one inefficient move Like
Okay.
any step I took was with a purpose.
Nice.
Everything, like I knew I felt in control. And like I said, even me just getting a water, you know what I mean? Just quick, efficient, quick throw in the trash, I'm gone. There was nothing inefficient. And I was like, wow, that was, everything was just kind of to the point, efficient. The time was ticking.
Would you say you were locked in?
Locked in.
Yeah, he was locked in.
Like the kids say.
Yeah, like they said. We just you know what I was saying? I was watching him run. I was like, let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. This guy's out
you
here.
being relevant.
I know. So I think if you can master those three things, or at the very least, maybe not master them, but if you can like really focus on those three things, well, the next 4 to 6 weeks can look significantly different, right? So you can be a different athlete in the next 4 to 6 weeks just by making some little changes and being really focused, right? So, what would you say if you were to tell people right now, Lauren, what would you say are the top 3 things you need to work on?
Wall balls.
You need
number
to improve
1.
on.
Huh? Just any 3? Wall balls. Number 1. Squat.
What about wall balls?
Working on your depth. Like that is especially for the men because
No.
What?
No. Not people in general. You.
Oh, me.
Make it personal. Make it personal.
Sorry. For
She
me.
just said, men, y'all suck and y'all need to learn how to do wall balls.
There we
Is that
go.
what you heard?
Oh yeah, men.
Well-
Not just women.
Not just
men.
women. Men.
I'm still gonna say that. I'm standing by that. By the way, but
We have a class full of women that need to work on to depth. I don't
Yeah,
want to put anybody on blast, but
I don't
just so you know.
Okay, I believe you. I'm gonna say I need to work on my burpees. My burpees are a station that always kind of get me. They always get my heart rate really ramped up, and I really start to lose gas about halfway through. So I need to work on staying consistent in those and really pushing through that discomfort.
So hold on just a second. So do you feel like it's the burpee itself or the conditioning?
The conditioning.
Okay. So how do you improve your conditioning?
Do more burpees? No, I'm joking.
I mean, that's one way.
I mean, practice more of them. Practicing like kind of like you said with the personal wall balls. Probably actually practicing to failure, not just okay. I'm just gonna do 5 and rest. Like actually practicing till I'm too tired. Also, like the push-up portion. Like really working on the push-up portion. Because that tires me out. And then I don't know, Coach. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would say that one thing that would significantly help. So one thing to always remember is sometimes to improve on something doesn't just mean doing that one thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So there are other things you can do to help you improve on that thing. So if you had more upper body strength, specifically in your chest, to help you push up, right, more dynamically.
Yeah.
So being able to do like a plyo push-up.
Yeah.
So that would be something that probably could
More
help your
explosive.
explosive ability to get back up.
Okay.
Hip mobility would be significant for someone because if you have a limited range of motion in your hips, well, trying to drop down and drop back would be challenging. And then I would say on the conditioning portion of it, the greater oxygen you can absorb, then the lower your heart rate's going to stay when you're doing intense exercises, correct? So, really working on your aerobic capacity so that you can go faster because you can absorb more oxygen to be able to move. And I think that's why burpees are so tough is because you're using so many muscle groups at one time.
Yeah.
It's a very compound movement. And so those muscles they're just like starving for energy and oxygen. And so, you're going up and down, up and down, up and down over and over and over again. So, the more conditioned you are, the easier burpees can be.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I would say it's very plyometric movement, very explosive movement. So jump squats, plyo push-ups, mobility in the hips, and then ultimately your aerobic capacity. So he said it earlier, volume is king. So whether that's volume from doing burpees all day long or volume from your running, getting your volume up, right, into maybe the 30-mile range, 35-mile range, that would probably make the biggest overall difference, in my humble opinion.
Kind of like a bigger foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's supposed to pick 2 more?
Yep.
I say it all the time. I'm going to keep saying it. The running. So working on that by just keep increasing my volume safely, following my plan that I've made. But yeah, just to keep increasing my running and working on that, and then also keep adding in speed work and all that so I can get more comfortable with always running my slightly faster pace between the stations. And then I am actually going to give myself wall balls as one to always work on. And the reason I say wall balls is I think generally I'm pretty good at them, but I do know when I start to get really fatigued, I slow down a lot and I drop the ball a lot. So for me, it's like really making sure that I'm pushing through fatigue and throwing to failure. And I do know that if I start getting really tired, even though I think I'm hitting depth, I might like not be quite getting there. So definitely something I also have to kind of like be mindful of under fatigue.
Gotcha.
If I'm fresh, I'm great. But yeah.
All right. 3 things, Carlos.
Cross training.
I
think that I kind of put that as a strength, getting basic movements, deadlifts, squats, kind of keeping that steady, building the base right now. And then I would say remembering mobility, keeping, foam rolling, keeping all that, not getting lazy on just, I'm going to go lay down and go to bed when I haven't foam rolled and stretched a little bit.
Okay.
For me, I always tell people kind of do what works for you. If some people, I don't like foam rolling, that's, find something that works. Find stretches that work that you feel improve yourself. Like I have a whole routine that I, play with that just kind of come together stuff. Oh, that feels good. I like that stretch. Some other person might do it, and I don't feel anything or don't like it. But I have a whole routine that I've worked with, a foam roller, a ball, and stretches that I do at night that I feel great afterwards. If I don't do that, then I feel 180 the next morning.
Okay.
So mobility we just talked about, and then just continuing building up volume. So just kind of getting to higher volume. We'll see how it feels with the judging on, adding the strength, volume, just seeing how my body feels. So going with those 3 things.
Okay. So are there any particular things you feel like that would obviously go with those to help you, like that are struggles or challenges or things you don't feel the most confident about within, so you're doing a half marathon in October, right?
Yes.
Right? You got HYROX in November. Either one of those events, is there something about those disciplines that you're not super confident about that you feel like those things will lend to help you be better at?
Kind of getting back to speed work.
Okay.
Getting back to kind of pushing, get some, like I spoke with you, like let's get some speed work back on the plan kind of deal. So definitely getting back into that because I've had some mishaps of speed work during the season. And so I just want to get back on plan, kind of build that confidence of pushing harder again. Okay. We just been with the track workouts have been good, but maybe getting back into some tempo runs or whatever you have planned, for the half marathon. So definitely doing those and getting back to that uncomfortable running.
Okay. So I think as we kind of go through all of these things, I'm sure people listening right now, I say 3 things and they immediately bam, bam, bam. Right? I'm sure wall balls is probably one of them. Probably sleds is probably pretty high up on the list for many people. And so, running, I would hope, is on the list for most people. As well.
It should be.
It should be on the list.
Number
like
one.
90% of you.
Yeah. So, including all of us, I think even the people who are, pretty seasoned at it, still they're going to tell you running is something you get better at, right? So, because as more people compete, then the more competitive it becomes, and ultimately the faster the times are going to be, and the faster, if you want to be competitive, you're going to want to be. But even if you're not trying to be competitive and you're just competing with yourself, if you're going to get better, if you're going to get faster, you have to do what you've not done before.
Yeah.
Right. So we say that, you've probably heard it. It's a thing. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. And I think that's really where we're at in all of this is, a lot of us, I think I know in our group, I've seen other gyms the same way. There's people I see all the time and I'm like, man, you should be amazing. And I say you should be amazing. They're probably good. I just mean like they have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Okay. But they don't maybe necessarily live up to that potential for whatever reason. And so I think the only reason that ever happens is because there's not that attention to detail. There's not a plan. There's a lot of just throwing stuff at the dartboard and hoping it sticks. Resting on your talent and your ability. And the more stuff we do like this, I mean, there's a lot of talented people out there, a lot of people with a lot of gifts that maybe they just never played sports, or maybe they never did it until now, and they're just realizing that. And so, there's a lot of like talented athletes that are out there that didn't even know they were an athlete. And so as you're kind of getting into this thing, you just don't know how to improve. And so, I think you have to have a plan, and then you have to execute the plan. And if the plan doesn't work, get a new plan. But ultimately, you'll never know that until you actually go out there and like work through it. So, but don't just randomly do stuff, right? I think that's probably one of the, I don't want to say the biggest waste of time, but you can waste so much time and probably set yourself up for injury rather than like setting yourself up for success and really having like the confidence, right? Because once your confidence is broken, it's really hard to get back.
Yeah, it can really mess with you. It can really throw off your training and like your future seasons because you are constantly questioning what you're doing.
Yeah. So, and I know the way we're talking about this thing, it's like we're all like pro athletes and elite athletes, and everybody's like doing this for a living, but it's only just because, like, I mean, the group on Instagram, right? We have like a BC group that's on Instagram, and like just you can feel the excitement. Mm-hmm. In the group, right? They're talking about the stuff.
It's very infectious.
Everybody's got a full-time job.
Yep.
Everybody's just doing this. They're weekend warriors. They're doing it not just on the weekends, but it's just like something they do for fun and to stay fit and to stay engaged and motivated. But even if you're not doing this professionally, I think I would just encourage people to treat yourself like you are a professional athlete. And if you do that, it's not only going to help you perform better in these events that we do, but it's probably going to help you in life too, because it teaches you discipline. It helps build your confidence. It helps. You can apply all of this stuff to your everyday life, your work life, your family life. All of this stuff is very applicable because they're just principles. They're solid principles by which you can build success in your life. So I've never seen someone who was disciplined like not be successful in the thing they were disciplined in. Now, people who aren't disciplined in the thing that they're doing, I've seen them fail all the time.
Yeah.
But I've never seen someone who disciplined themselves and was accountable to other people be unsuccessful. So what is that telling me? That's a good principle.
That's a good key for success.
Good key and principle for life and for success. People who get up early don't tend to be lazy. I hate getting up early. I'm naturally lazy. But when you get up early, I don't care if you go to bed early or not. If you get up early, it's hard for you don't usually see early birds not be successful and be organized and be like high performers. I have several people I'm coaching right now that I would put them in the high performer category, in that they do a lot of things that most people will be like, how do you get all that done? You know what I'm saying? They're putting in tons of training. They're putting in a lot of mileage. They're working out. They're spending time with their family. They have a full-time job. And they're doing all these things that a lot of people a lot of times will say that it is not possible, right? I don't want to use the word excuse because I don't want it to sound negative that you're not able to do it. But I feel like if it's something that you want,
you'll find a way.
You'll figure out a way to do it, right? And that just may mean more discipline.
Yeah. I mean, we have single moms that like they get it done by pushing their kids in the stroller, or people who
we got single dads who are out there running with their daughters.
Well, I was literally about to say we have a dad who literally gets up and does his workout at like 3:30 in the morning, and he told me that, and I was like, I'm sorry, when?
Oh wow.
3:30 in the morning, so he can get his workout done, and then he runs with his daughter.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
You figure it out. Well, you have people who are breaking up their efforts into 2 times a day because it makes more sense for their schedule.
For time, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the people who want to get it done, I mean, these are not childless people and freeloaders. They are working, taking care of families, and prioritizing.
Did you say childless freeloaders?
Childless and freeloaders, not together.
Okay. So separately. They don't have children. That's one group, and then there's freeloaders on the other group.
Well, like freeloaders, I mean, like they have like no responsibilities.
Okay.
Sorry, freeloaders sounds very mean. Like people who have very limited responsibilities.
Okay. So could you have children and I guess if you have children, you have responsibilities.
Hopefully.
But you could be a freeloader with children.
You could be.
Could you be a freeloader with children?
I mean, if you're not really involved with your children. Yeah. If you're not really involved with your children.
That's an interesting question.
That's something to
but
ponder.
Could you be a freeloader and have children but not take care of the children. Like there's some living with somebody
I know
else.
children can't
Yeah.
be freeloaders.
But could the children be the freeloaders? Maybe that's the real question.
Okay, yes.
We need to get hold of these freeloading children.
Yeah.
I'm so
It's a whole other topic for another day.
I'm so confused now. You've lost me.
So, but yeah, I think that's going to be the key. So, as we're building throughout this season, no matter what you're building for, we got the Houston Marathon is in January. You've got the Chicago Marathon in October. You've got all these major. I mean, realistically, probably starting in September here, races are going to start compounding. They're going to be like really going
One after
on.
the other.
You're up north, you're probably already in like a major race season, right? Because the weather's so much nicer there. So there's probably something going on every other weekend, right? So now as we approach the actual like D-Day scenarios that are going down, I think it's really important that if those things are something that, and I want to make this very clear, it should be fun.
Yeah.
It should be enjoyable. It shouldn't be something that causes you stress or
No.
anxiety. You should be able to enjoy it. But I think a big part of what makes it enjoyable is being prepared.
Yeah.
And the things that make you anxious and make you super nervous is when you're not confident in your preparation.
Kind of like when you haven't studied for that test.
Yes.
You're going, but if you've studied for that test, you're
walk in with
sleeping
like a
good.
sweat.
Oh, you're sleeping good.
Yeah.
But if you're like up all night sweating that test and you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, what was that
Yeah.
answer again? You've crammed it in.
This cracks me up. Actually, you brought that up about the test thing. Like, I've known people who are like, I'm just not a good test taker. I just don't take good tests. You raising your hand? Oh, God. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to raise your hand. Because now it sounds like I'm talking about you.
Well, no, but I mean, I'll keep going. I am that person, though.
But what I've found, obviously not in her situation, but what I have found is the people who are not good test takers are also not good note takers. They're not good studiers. They don't take the time to do that. They don't get with other people. So they don't do all the things necessary to prepare properly until the night before the test. Or
Yeah.
even the morning before the test. And they're trying to cram it in. And then when they go to take the test, they're like, I just can't take tests. It's just too anxious, too whatever, right? So not you, obviously, just most people that
Obviously.
not you, right? So there's these like, it's like, what is it, Jamie? She had that thing with her Achilles.
Yeah.
Right, for a long time. And I was like,
Jamie was probably the
it's probably like
greatest note taker.
this, it's probably this, it's probably this. And finally I was like, dude, listen, if it was this, it would have already been better, right? So you probably should go to the doctor and get it checked out. And she went and got it checked out. She went and got an MRI, and she had some kind of like 1 in a million syndrome thing
Yeah.
Really?
where her like ligament or something was wrapped around some bone that doesn't even exist on 99% of the
It's like
population.
an extra bone.
It
It doesn't do anything.
Something like that. And they had to cut it off, and because you can't like unwrap it. But then she was good.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, she's special. Jamie is special. She's got better DNA than most of us and extra bones. So, like, in this one case scenario, it wasn't Achilles tendonitis. It was some weird, strange thing. So, like, when it comes to taking tests, most people just don't prepare properly.
Yeah.
Lauren's thing is she's special and she's got extra bones.
Yeah, that's it.
She's got so much brain power
That just
that it just like overreacts during a test.
Yeah.
And all the information she learned from other things comes rushing in, and the
Yes.
information she needs is not there.
No, I'm actually a really good note taker. I am the person who takes so many notes. I might as well be writing the textbook. And it's kind of stupid because I take so many notes. Probably 75% of the information I'm taking is probably not going to be on the test.
Maybe that's the thing maybe you got to work on then, is learning what's the relevant information for the test.
That's probably true.
Maybe.
being efficient.
I sometimes focus on, because I'm so like, I look at so many things. I'm like, I got to take it all in instead
Sure.
of like really honing in on let's face it, that's how I probably operate on my daily, is like I'm focusing on so many things instead of like.
Instead of the 3 things I want you to do.
Yes.
I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Please forgive me.
I'll let it go.
Yeah, it's all right.
it made me laugh.
And that's what I'm here to do. Make this guy laugh.
Perfect. That was a thumbs up.
Mission
there.
accomplished, guys. Mission accomplished. So I think that I'm excited about this season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be
Intense.
it's gonna be probably pretty intense.
So intense.
Like there's a lot of big goals. A lot of us have
Yeah.
very big goals. And I think this is probably the most excited. I mean, I feel like I've been saying this every year lately, but this is the most excited I've been for a season.
Well, I feel like every
For a race
season
season.
we get so many new people, new athletes who are in who have been seeing it, and now they're like, oh, now I want to do it. And we have some athletes that have joined the gym. They are staying very committed. They're really putting work in, and they are in. Like, they're very excited, and it kind of like makes you excited again because you get to watch other people like really chase after something special.
And then we've got some athletes who, like, you really see a lot of potential in them, and they could be like really, really good, but they're so intent on being better, they're doing too much.
Yeah.
And they're not focused on the right things. And so you're trying to like rein them in.
Yep.
Right. So as a coach, that's like the fine balance you have to do is like, you know, you got to push them a little bit, then hold them back, push them a little bit, convince them, hey, remember, this is what's important. This isn't right. So, that's, I guess that's what's good about having the community and the group is that that accountability is important. Right. And learning to discipline yourself at the right time.
Yeah.
And in the right season. So hopefully you guys are, you're getting out there, you're getting a plan. If you're not in the Houston area and you can't come join us or whatever, maybe you're somewhere on the other side of the world, right? Maybe you're up north somewhere. If you want to connect with us, you're more than welcome to. You can follow us on Instagram at The Running with James. You can also follow me, BC Coach James. You find Lauren at The Backyard Bohemian or Coach at Coach Carlos at Los 200. And if you want information, if you want tips, you ask us questions. Slide into the DM. I promise you we'll answer your question. If you want coaching advice, if you want to be coached, we do online coaching. I've got people when I say all over the world, I'm not kidding. Australia, I've got some folks down in Brazil, up in Canada, Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, real universal.
Abroad. Really abroad there.
Florida, New Orleans, right? So the online coaching, obviously we'd love to be with you and be in the same room with you, and that makes it so much more fun. But all this stuff is applicable in so many other ways. So you can reach out to any of us and feel welcome to do that. And then also if you want to join the community online, simply go to mybcfit.com. You can check out all the things we got going on because we'd love for you to be a part. And then obviously follow the show on YouTube and then here on the podcast. Like it, subscribe, do all that great stuff. And if you want to really, really be our friend, join the Patreon.
It's where it's at.
That's where it's at, right? So you get the extra content. Try to send out some really cool little surprises and merch. Everybody gets a Running with James patch if you become a Patreon member. And then at certain times of the year, we throw some swag your way. So hopefully you guys are looking at that, and you can become a Patreon member simply by going to patreon.com/runningwithjames. And there's some different tiers to join and be a part. So other than that, that's all I got today.
That's all I got.
You got anything wise or anything else we need to say?
The only thing I'd like to say, check out the running plan on the BC website.
Yes.
Look at you.
So throwing this out, Lauren has been pushing that like nobody's business, and I respect that. So we have a couple different levels. We've got level 1, level 2. It just started. It's 3 months long. And so I think we're just in the second week of it. This is the second week of it. So you can go you just download our app, the BC Fitness app through Moments. And then if you purchase it, I think the level 1's like $30.
$30 for level 1. Level 2 is $50.
$50.
So a little more content, more run. I think more speed work in there.
Yeah. So it's just more volume, more specific workouts. So level 1 is if you haven't really been running at all to get you started. Level 2 is if you've already gotten some mileage under your belt. And either one will help prepare you for a HYROX race. So gives you drills, gives you mileage, speed work, all that good stuff. If you want a more tailored plan, that's what our run coaching is going to be about. We have 3-month and 6-month plans where we would meet with you once a month, whether that's online or in person, and give you tailored workouts just for yourself. So we've got options for you guys. If you're looking to get into it, looking to take that next step, we're here to help you out. So thank you guys for coming in. As usual, rate the show. We love you. Remember, when you change your mind,
You change your life.